Have you ever seen a country where one foot stands in Asia, the other in Europe, where ancient empires once ruled 3 continents? And where modern cities rise beside thousand-year-old mosques? Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating nations on Earth. Turkey is not just a country. It is a bridge between worlds. A place where East meets West, where tradition meets modern ambition, and where history feels alive in every street. Few nations on Earth hold such a strategic position, such a dramatic past, and such a powerful cultural identity located between Europe and Asia. Turkey controls one of the most important waterways in the world, the Turkish Straits. Whoever controls these waters controls access between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. That alone has made Turkey a major player in world affairs for centuries. But Turkey is much more than geopolitics. When people hear the name Turkey, many images come to mind. Hot air balloons floating across the skies of Cappadocia, the skyline of Istanbul glowing at sunset, the blue mosque standing in majestic silence, the smell of roasted lamb drifting through crowded streets, markets filled with carpets, spices, lamps, jewelry, and endless noise. Turkey is color, sound, movement, and emotion. Its people reflect that richness too. Turks come from a long history of migration and cultural blending. Over centuries, different ethnic groups, civilizations, and empires mixed across this land. That is why modern Turkey is incredibly diverse in appearance, culture, and identity. Many outsiders assume Turkey is a deeply conservative society because most of the population is Muslim. But the reality is more complex. Turkey is officially a secular republic, and daily life varies greatly depending on region, city, and generation. In Istanbul, Ankara, and coastal cities, life can feel modern and European. In rural regions, traditions remain stronger. Turkey lives in both worlds at once. Now, let's talk about Istanbul. If Turkey has a crown jewel, it is Istanbul. The only major city in the world built on 2 continents. One side in Europe, one side in Asia. Napoleon once said if the whole world were one country, Istanbul would be its capital. That sentence captures the city perfectly. Istanbul was once Byzantium, then Constantinople, and today, Istanbul. It served as the capital of the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and later the Ottoman Empire. Few cities in human history can match that legacy. Walk through Istanbul and you'll feel it instantly. Roman walls, Ottoman palaces, grand mosques, churches, modern towers, cafes, ferries, markets, and endless life moving in every direction. It is chaotic, romantic, ancient, and modern all at once. Then there is Cappadocia. It's one of the most surreal landscapes on Earth. Strange rock formations shaped by volcanic activity. Underground cities carved into stone. Dozens of balloons rising each sunrise. It looks like another planet. Turkey's tourism industry is one of the strongest in the world. More than 50 million visitors arrive each year. They come for beaches, mountains, food, history, and unforgettable cities. Turkey consistently ranks among the world's top travel destinations. And speaking of food, Turkish cuisine is world-class. Kebabs, baklava, fresh bread, grilled meats, rich coffee. Tea served in small glasses and desserts layered with honey and pistachios. Eating in Turkey is not just a meal. It is a social event. Hospitality is part of the culture. Guests are respected. Tables are generous. Meals are long, but Turkey is not only beauty and tourism, it is also a serious economic power. Turkey has one of the largest economies in its region. Its industries include automotive manufacturing, steel, textiles, agriculture, shipbuilding, and construction. The country exports products around the world. Turkey is also rich in agriculture. Wheat, cotton, hazelnuts, pistachios, olives, fruits, and vegetables are produced in huge quantities. In fact, Turkey is one of the world's largest producers of hazelnuts and several agricultural goods. Education and healthcare have also expanded significantly over recent decades. Public services are available nationwide, and Turkey has become famous for affordable private medical treatment. Many foreigners travel there for dental work, cosmetic surgery, hair transplants, and specialized care at lower costs than Western countries. So, with all these advantages, why does Turkey still face challenges? Because geography and history always come with a price. Turkey sits in a difficult neighborhood, surrounded by conflict zones, migration routes, and competing powers. It must constantly balance relationships with Europe, Russia, the Middle East, NATO, and its own domestic priorities. Its economy has also faced turbulence in recent years. Inflation has been high. The Turkish lira has lost value multiple times. Living costs rose sharply, creating pressure for ordinary families. Growth remains strong in some sectors, but instability worries many citizens. Politically, Turkey is also one of the most watched countries in the world. It is a NATO member, an important military power, and a nation whose decisions can shape Europe, the Middle East, and the Black Sea region. And yet, despite all the pressure, Turkey keeps moving forward. That may be the real story of this country. Turkey is a place that refuses to be simple. It is secular and religious, European and Asian, ancient and modern, conservative and progressive, calm one moment, intense the next. It carries the weight of empire, but also the ambition of a young nation. Some countries are easy to explain. Turkey is not one of them. That is why it fascinates the world, because behind every mosque, every market, every coastline, and every skyline lies a nation still defining itself between continents, between identities, and between past glory and future power. So what kind of country is Turkey? It is a nation standing at the crossroads of civilization, a land of beauty, contradiction, resilience, and endless strategic importance. And maybe that is exactly why the world can never ignore it. What do you think about Turkey? Is it one of the most underrated countries on earth, or one of the most misunderstood? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next story.